Youcef, what's up, man?
Excited, bro.
Good to have you.
Nervous and excited, yeah.
Ben's Films is your handle. Is that what you've been going by for a hot minute? Have you always gone by that, or?
Actually, yeah. So my family name is Benyazzar. An abbreviation, a cool way of saying it is Benz. So since I started Instagram, my handle was just Benz with a lot of
Yeah,
Z's.
yeah.
And then, yeah, Benz Films.
Any relations to the to the Mercedes?
I mean,
If
the
they'll
love of
pay,
Mercedes.
if they'll pay you.
Yeah, for sure. If anybody's willing to pay me, yeah. The love of the Benz came after I actually I just sat down and thought of it. Hey, my whole history is Benz, right?
Yeah,
It just makes sense to
I like
drive a
it.
Benz. Yeah,
I like it. I like what the future holds for you. It's looking super bright, and you should be happy with what you're doing and keep pushing.
appreciate it, bro.
Tell me how, actually, before we get into the tell me, what I love is you're from Constantine originally?
Constantine, yes.
Algeria. And I told you I lived there when I was a kid.
That's the craziest story, man. I was like, what?
Of all places.
Of all places, yeah.
And I have very, very fond memories of Constantine, man. I was in third grade. A lot of transformative things happened for me in Constantine. So I'm very fond of Algeria, Algerian people, North Africa in general, having grown up in France, like that connection to me. I think I'm a better person for having gone through that experience. So,
Okay.
mad props for sure.
No,
Mad props.
for sure, man. If you go through Constantine and get out of it alive, yeah, for sure. That's my experience, yeah.
Speaking of which, so walk me through your early process. Like, how did you get into content creation or filming? Or
Well, it all started when I moved to Constantine. So growing up, I didn't really live in my hometown, which is Constantine, because my dad's like a government officer. We have to move like every 3-4 years. I was dispatched around like multiple parts of the country until I entered uni. I decided, okay, I'm just gonna go settle down somewhere in my hometown, of course, and start doing something. So when I did that, I basically became independent. I had to do something to make me money. I started like a stupid small business. It is actually pretty smart. I started selling necklaces and selling shoes on Facebook Marketplace and all these places.
What got you into that? What got you to do that, other than the necessity to make ends meet?
I remember there's this one necklace. I was in uni, and I loved. You remember the crystal necklaces that went very popular, like 2017, 18. So I saw one, and I'm like, damn, these look so cool. Why can't I see it in here in Algeria? Like nobody's wearing it, and I'm very Western oriented. I don't.
Where had you seen it? Do you remember?
Online, like YouTube and videos like that, and Instagram at that time as well. I was like, I'm gonna find one here and wear one. It was so hard for me to find one. I looked everywhere, and I had to go to this place nearby the capital, which is like a 4-hour drive from my city, to see an importer who sells them, and he's the only one who has
Was
them.
it the one or a replica or a knockoff?
So
same concept.
Same concept. Like they're all replicas. It's just like a crystal inside of a necklace. So I got there, and I was ready to pay let's say in dollars, whatever, like $20 for it. Yeah. The guy tells me the price is $1 for one necklace. And if I take more than 10, it's like 50 cents. I look at him, I'm like, oh. And it's just,
light bulb
put a light bulb in editing here. So it just hit me, and I'm like, oh, damn, let's do this. I bought 10 necklaces. I went back home. The day after, I sold all of them. I didn't even keep one for me.
Did you know? Was there a demand already, or did you just think that?
Yes.
Were people aware that these necklaces had a?
So I was looking for it, and I have a big circle in uni, especially. Not a lot of people.
Sure.
So as soon as I got them, the next day I went to uni, guys, I got the necklace. Looks so cool and everything, and everybody, oh, where did you get it from? I got I ordered it from this place. I'm not gonna tell them my source. So yeah, I ended up I got 10. You guys want to buy? I ended up selling.
You were ready from the jump.
Definitely, man. I needed the money as well.
Yeah.
I sold them $10 each, which is
wow.
Damn, yeah, okay.
Which is half of what you were willing to pay for it.
Yeah. For like, it's a good price for them. They were very, very happy with it.
Not a bad
I'm
not a
not a
bad
bad
margin.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad guy as well. And yeah, I saw that, and like that just like I saw the potential in it. The next day I go and I like literally the next day
Yeah.
I buy like 30 pieces. Guy's like, okay, sure. 30 pieces,
Did
50
you have to go
cents a
back to
piece.
Algeria?
Yeah, Blida. Blida is the place.
Okay.
I used to drive, so I just drove there again. I go there, I buy 30 pieces, I sell them in the next week.
So you validated that you've got an idea,
Done.
and then
Done. And I only sold like the first days, I only sold in uni. And then I started expanding like Facebook Marketplace. We have this website, Wedknees. We have like the Bizzle and those sorts of websites. So that's where it started, like this e-commerce thing for me. I was like, I can do this. I started doing a lot of e-commerce. I had a lot of friends who were teaching e-commerce, how to do it properly, getting products, opening up a website. And I was really into that world.
Was Amazon big there in terms of like fulfilled by
No,
Amazon?
we don't have Amazon.
Okay.
In Algeria, yeah.
Was there anything, because in the US, FBA, fulfilled by Amazon is a massive, I would think is a very similar business model.
True.
So was there an equivalent of that in Algeria?
The best was Wedknees, which is very similar to the Bizzle, what we have here in UA.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that big because at that time we didn't have e-payments. So it wasn't that big, honestly.
So how were people exchanging currency and stuff?
Meet them in
Cash and
cash.
stuff? Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's all in cash, yeah. At that time. Now it got better. Like there's a lot of e-payment methods and everything. So yeah, got me into e-commerce, cash on delivery, of course, for e-commerce.
Yeah.
And e-commerce got me into photography. I started realizing that I don't want to pay a photographer to take pictures of my products because it's too expensive. So I got myself a camera. I'm like, okay, I'll start taking photos. Get some lights, get some experience, YouTube tutorials.
No background whatsoever about how to do it.
Nothing.
So self-taught from scratch.
Yeah, nothing at all.
And no prior interest before this. So it was sheer necessity. Like,
yeah. Like I wasn't like, ask me a year before I started photography. I would never mention photography in my life. Yeah. Like for me, it was music. I was a musician before. That was my passion.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. So I started taking photos. I started doing random, like doing portraits of my friends, and then product shoots, and then like fashion shoots and all of that, but just photos. And from there, I started making videos of me playing piano. So I had to learn like basic editing skills. I made some nice videos in piano, me transitioning and all of that.
Were you active on social media then or not yet?
Not that much. I just grabbed those piano videos, like 3-4 minute videos, and I just posted them on socials, but not that active, like 2 videos a month or something.
Yeah.
Then from there, I just came to this realization, okay, I have to like choose something. I was in uni studying. I had like multiple choices in uni and everything, but I knew uni wasn't going to do it for me.
What was your specialty in uni?
For uni, funny story. So when I first graduated, when I started uni, I studied biology.
Okay.
Yeah, biocell, which is like human biology and everything. Yep. For 1 year, I barely went. Not a good example, guys. Sorry, but...
It's all right. So, you'd be surprised how many creatives, share that story.
Yeah. Well, not a dropout, but kind of. Second year, I switched to chemistry, ST, science and technology.
Close to bio.
Whatever. Didn't work out for me as well. I didn't like it. It was too, like, I don't know. I'm not this type of person.
Were you influenced by your parents to go after a certain path, or?
Not really. They just wanted me to do something, and that's it. Yeah, super cool with that. So I came to this realization when I studied this chemistry is where I started this photography and this business world. I made a decision for uni, I'll just get a degree, the easiest degree that I can get, just so like I can place it, and it's for my parents. Hi mom, hi dad, I have a degree.
Same boat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I did English.
Okay.
English literature. Did you do that as well?
No. I started computer science and then I went to graphic design because I'm like,
that's quite complicated, but it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, I did English literature because I knew it would be easy and I didn't need to go. I just went for the final tests and nailed it. From there, just had my license, my degree. I did also international marketing on the side. That was a good degree. Then from there, I decided to drop everything I'm doing, drop music, drop e-commerce, finish with school, finish with everything, collect all my money and buy camera gear, proper camera gear, proper, filmmaking gear. And I wanted to jump into video. I realized, okay, this is actually something that could work for me.
Based on the trajectory that you'd been on, or based on things that you'd been then following or seeing? Like, did you feel like you caught it at the right time? Like, what influenced that decision for you?
I think I was too, when you're trying to hold on to too many things at the same time.
Oh, yes.
That's what was happening with me. I'm trying to keep this going and this going and this going and this going. It didn't really work out for me. Like, basically, I was average in all of these things.
Story of my life. Yeah.
So yeah, this is it, man. If you want to really succeed in something, choose something and be amazing in it. Being average and everything is cool, but something, and then focus on it. So I said, okay, let me grab something, focus on it, do it for 1-2 years. If it doesn't work out, I'll just switch to another thing and focus on it. Thankfully, my first thing that I chose was something I loved, and it worked out, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and you got good pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean...
No, you did.
I did,
I'm not asking, I'm telling you.
Thanks, man. So I started doing filmmaking. I started doing I was very much influenced by Peter McKinnon and Daniel Schiffer.
Yep.
That was the era of making B-rolls.
Yeah.
You grab the camera, you move like this and that. So the first video ever was a B-roll video. I did with my friend Timbu. We were just like this and holding and setting up a camera. I look at it and I look back at it and what am I doing? You
have to start somewhere, man.
Yeah, definitely started somewhere. Started off with an A7 II, a Sony A7 II.
Yep.
Doesn't shoot 60 FPS, doesn't shoot 4K. Not a good camera. But yeah. Then from there, I started doing videos for free for friends who I know that have businesses. I'll start this for you.
Yep.
I remember there's this place who sells desserts. Very nice. This very popular place in Constantine. I started there, and then the big blow up. There's always that
pivotal
moment
turn. Yeah, of course.
The pivot. Yeah. So there's this guy. I'm always thankful for this guy. He's a super nice guy. He owns let's say it's not McDonald's, but
fast food.
Yeah, fast food chain in Constantine. Is over 7 stores in the country.
Okay.
And his theme is cowboys, Western cowboys. Yeah.
Interesting.
Western. Yeah. So the name is Mom's Burgers, hot dogs, and it's first American place in Constantine. So I asked him, hey, let me make a video for you. I have an idea. Sick idea, yeah? Make a video for you. Don't pay me. When you see the results, if you're happy with it, pay me. If you don't, I'm not losing anything.
Yeah.
He was sure, yeah, okay. I came up with an idea. I got my 2 friends to be the actors. Didn't have any budget. I bought you have this souk, this old souk where you just buy used stuff.
Yeah.
So I went and bought some cowboy hats, some outfits, but DIY outfits, and I made a video. I made it in one evening. It's smoke and some B-roll with 2 cowboys coming in. The idea was creative.
Did you have a storyboard and everything, or did you already have the idea
in my head?
Yeah.
No storyboard, no nothing. I was a noob. That, I shot it with one lens. I only had a 35 2.8 lens. Not a very good lens, a Zeiss lens, but
still, 35 is one of the best general.
Yeah, it's a good focal length. Yeah. So I did that video, and it blew up. It blew up, as in those beautiful advertisement. This should be on TV. I know it shouldn't be on TV. Guys.
Well, to most people that don't know any better, I mean, I would assume even without seeing it, that the quality, again, because we'll connect it to your music. Youcef is a very accomplished piano player. We'll get into that. So once you get that good at something, it usually translates. If you're making the move over to video, it's not like you're starting from scratch. Yeah, you're a noob in terms of you haven't done a ton, but you have the sensibilities that have helped you do that. So Yeah, now I'm curious to see what that video looks
Yeah,
like. Is
I
it
might
still out
show
there?
you.
Is
Yeah,
it still
no,
out there?
it is. It is.
Where was it posted?
Mainly on Facebook.
Okay, and that's where
that
it
time.
just went crazy.
That's where it blew up. Like it got a lot of views. I don't remember, like over 1 million or something.
That's awesome, man.
And the comments were just like, the guy who did the advertisement for you is a genius. Like 80% of the comments were about me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't sleep for like a week just checking the comments.
Yeah.
Like, I go to my mom like, hey mom, this is about me.
So this is
You
your
see?
first experience with that kind of feedback.
This is the first time I'm ever good at something.
Okay.
Ever felt like, hey, I'm actually good, really, really good at this. Yeah. So that's when I really fell in love with this filmmaking world and coming up with ideas and getting out of the box ideas and everything. That's what I love doing. So man, from there, I didn't catch my breath. Since then, it just started like I get clients. People come to the place asking who's the videographer. So I started hanging out there, and just like I met people there. They come.
It's
who's
your
the
office.
videographer?
It's your office.
Became my office. Yeah, it's right there. Enjoy. So yeah, this is from there, man. I spent like 3 years nonstop working, developing, buying new equipment, and just like doing more and more and more and more and more. Until I decided to come here. Well,
on vacation.
On vacation,
if I remember.
Yeah. So how it happened is I decided to come to Dubai.
Why Dubai?
Because it's one of the few countries that you don't need a long-term visa to come to. Like it doesn't take a long time to get a visa for. So I overheated from all the work, and I decided, okay, I need to take a step back, just go relax. I worked hard enough, and I had never traveled before outside of Algeria except for Tunisia and Morocco. Yeah. So never been on an airplane before. My first airplane
was straight here,
straight to Dubai. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like, okay, I've been working so hard. I've made a decent amount of money. Why am I not having fun? Why am I not traveling?
Yeah.
So I made that decision. A week later, I'm in Dubai. I applied for a visa, I applied for everything, and I came here. I said, I'll just come here, chill, relax, see the world, and have fun. Stay for a month, and go back.
Yep.
Rented everything. I come here. It was Expo. I had a lot of fun in Expo. I explored. I met a lot of people and networked and everything. And then, like midway, I missed working. I got bored, and I had my camera with me, of course. So I started rolling around, and just like trying to get some freelance business, some freelance clients. Why not? Extra money. I literally left like the day I decided, okay, I'm gonna go out and talk to companies and talk to people and see what's gonna happen. I was living in a marina. What's next to marina, like a 2-minute, 3-minute walk. Is Media City, where I currently work. I left. I look right, look left. Okay, Media City is this way. Let's just go. They probably have media companies. I walk. I see this first building. I walk in. I see a production company. Perfect.
You're knocking door to door here.
Door to door. The first door I knocked, this is a production company. I'm not gonna name it because they probably hate me. I enter. Hey guys, what's up? You need a freelance videographer, or I'm a videographer. I'm here. They're like looking at me randomly, and then the manager is like the other way, like the end of the room, comes and like looks at me and like, yeah, can you come? Yeah. I go sit inside with him. I show him like my Instagram. This is what I do. He asks me like some technical stuff. He tells me, okay, we have a shoot in about an hour. You want to go? I'm like, sure. Okay. He gives me an R5, which is the first time for me seeing an R5 in front of me, and an anamorphic lens, like a dream lens, 16 millimeter, and just like epic gear. He sends off some other person with me and tells me, you are in charge of this project. It's a clinic, like a beauty clinic, whatever. You're going to film a video of him. Just like come up with something on the way and do it. And that's a test for you. I was like, okay, sick. I go with the guy. We arrived there. Like I manage my stuff. Like
had you ever used a Canon before?
No.
So new menu system, new everything.
Yeah, that wasn't much of a difference. Like just like,
but you knew the concepts. You knew.
You know the concepts. You know everything. But wasn't a big difference. I get there, film a nice video, everything, finish, go back. I see the guys like are welcoming me to the team and like the people who work there, and I'm like, guys, I haven't discussed anything, but yeah, sure. He tells me, can you come back tomorrow, edit the video, and then we can discuss. And I'm like, sure. The next day, I come in, he gives me a t-shirt of the company name and everything. Sarah, super nice guy, but I sat down, edited the video, showed it to them, they loved it. They're like, okay. I sit down with the guy. I told him, okay, details, what are we doing? Yeah, we want to hire you. You can start working today. We'll pay for the past 2 days and we'll do your visa, do everything. I'm like, okay, this is literally my second day looking for a job in here, or like a freelance. I wasn't even looking for a job, and I found something. And then when it came to salary, he's like, yeah, so we'll give you this much. Should we like mention numbers, or
It's up to you if you're comfortable.
He said we can give you like 6.5k dirhams, which is very low. I'm like,
just to put it in perspective, based on your experience at that time, how much would someone at your level, how much could that person be commanding, just so that we can approximate how much lower 6.5 is relative
with that level of experience I had at that time, at least double, at least.
So
like what makes sense is double.
12 to 15.
Yeah, that's what makes sense.
And did you know that? Did you have a sense of?
No.
You didn't get a sense that 6 is too low? Okay.
No, I knew 6 was too low because I was making more than that back home.
Sure.
I came here to make more money, you know?
Sure.
I knew that it was too low. And he's like, yeah, if you work hard, we'll like increase it. And I'm like, okay, sure thing. The next day I just didn't show up.
Yeah.
I kept the t-shirt. But yeah.
So you worked for a free t-shirt.
Yeah.
You did a
there we go.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
I hope you still have it.
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
You should hang on to it.
I should have it. Piece, yeah. I conquered this, you know? Yeah, I'll look for it. Next day, I walk to the next building.
Next office.
Yeah, literally next building. I explored that building. It's like some architecture firms and everything. I walked to the next building. So this tricky thing with
security.
Security, yeah. If you walk in and you look confused and you act confused, you're not going in.
Yeah, they're gonna ask you to.
If you tell them, I wanna like put my CV or anything, you're not going in. I know that from experience. So what I do is literally walk in like I own the place. It's like, on my phone, What's up, guys? Hi. You see how I walk in today to the office every day? That's how I did it. I walked in literally to the elevator directly, like I know where I'm going. I go up to the elevator, first floor. And then I left. There was this board where it shows like companies. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, where should I go? I see the board of companies, CNN, Warner. I don't know. Like, I'm like, what am I doing here? This is way too big for me. Yeah. And then I see like a lot of opportunities on 4th floor. And there's this company called Alfan. I thought Alfan, maybe art. I like art.
You hadn't heard of them before?
No. I go to 4th floor. I walk in directly. I see Warner on the other side. I'm like, nope, let me go this way. I see the logo outside. I walk into the office. See like a bunch of people looking at me. And I'm like,
can we help you?
Hi, guys. They're super friendly people we had. We still have super friendly people at the office, but yeah. Jamil comes up to me, I don't know if you know Jamil.
I haven't met him yet.
Super fun guy with a ponytail. Jamil comes up to me and is like, how can we help you? So I'm a freelance videographer. If you need any services and all, please hit me up. He's like, okay. Takes my Instagram. He's weirded out, but sure. I leave. And then at that point, I had some existential crisis. Like I was going through some stuff emotionally, relationship-wise and everything. I'm like thinking, what should I do? Very lost with it, you know? Yeah. And then it all, when a puzzle like just comes together, and alhamdulillah, like at that point, I was like praying to God, I'm very lost.
I need guidance, yeah.
Yeah, I need guidance. Should I stay? Like I spent nights just praying, like, what am I gonna do? Like one day I wake up, like 3 days after I went to Alfan. I had like some clearances from other sites, and then I see a text from Jamil. Like, hey man, can you pop up to our office today? Like, wow. It just like all cleared up in the same. Yeah, like
alignment.
Boom. Yeah, it just aligned. I go to the office. I sit down with Fatal, our amazing CEO.
Notice what he did there. Notice what he did there.
No, I love him. He's like a brother, man.
Yeah, he's great.
So sat down with Fatal, Shadi, and Jamil. Super fun guys as well, everything. Shadi was very much into production. I sat down with them and they're like, how did you hear about the company? I'm like, no, can you guys tell me about your... I was a bit like, I didn't do my research, which is bad for
Did
my
it feel
side.
like a test, or they were just like...
No, it was very chill.
But were they genuinely interested to know how you had find out about them? They didn't know that it was random. They thought you'd done your research and... Right?
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. Because that's what's funny. They thought I saw their application because at that time, funny enough, like,
That's right,
you know
you
how the
mentioned,
puzzle comes together? The company was looking for a videographer, filmmaker for a full-time role, and had just like let
had
go
just been
one of
posted, yeah.
so like perfect. I came at the perfect timing. They thought I came for that. Like I walked in because I saw it on LinkedIn. I didn't, and I'm like, nope, guys. I just randomly came in here, and they're like, you know what is going on here? So we sat down, discussed a little bit, and then they like told me about what they do, and I was like, this is some real stuff, you know, some big stuff. I was like, yeah, guys, very interesting. I'm interested in working with you and everything. I started like fingers crossed. I want to get a job with these guys. It seems fun. The office vibes were super cool and everything. 2 days later, I get another call. Come meet us. I realized there's another Algerian in the company, Abdo, from Algeria as well. Super nice guy, our CFO. So yeah, you know, I felt like, oh, I definitely belong here, and I started working with Alfan. Since then, it's been a fun experience.
And your title is officially what with Alfan, just so that people...
So at Alfan now, I'm a production and content creator manager.
Big deal.
Is big deal. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
No, but
I manage the production.
You fill the shoes really nicely. I think you're a perfect fit for what you're doing. And like I said,
Thanks,
I think it only goes up from here. You know, I mean, I don't know if you believe in accidents or not, but I think it was all meant to get you to where you are. You know, and
true.
I'm really proud of what you're doing, man. You're doing some really amazing things.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Let's talk music a little bit. So we hinted that. Tell me how you got into playing piano specifically. And
well, music is a big part of my personality. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Mainly how I got started.
By choice, or parents wanted you to do it?
Both. So my dad used to be an ex-musician. He'll kill me if
if you
that
reveal
I'm saying that.
You never heard before.
But yeah, no, what? So he used to be into music, and then he quit, but he wanted to transfer that towards us, yeah?
Whatever opportunities he didn't get, he wanted to make sure you guys had a chance.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for that. So my brother first started music. He started playing guitar, and he's very talented in music. So I was like, I wanna do that too. You know,
what's the age difference between you guys?
1 year, just a year old difference. Yeah. So I got influenced. I'm like, hey, I want to do that too. I decide I want to learn piano. I was like 10 years old or something. I asked my dad, hey, can I get a piano? And like after some time, yeah, of course, like I'll give you a piano. And then YouTube.
No proper lessons. This is
never had any lessons in my life.
So you don't read music? Do you play? Did you learn how to read?
Sheets.
You can read?
Yes, okay. I can. Like I know, but like to
Chords.
play instantly with
Live,
sheets. No,
I got you.
No, I can't do that. So I remember the first thing I did when I got a piano, I used to listen to a lot of Linkin Park.
Okay.
I YouTubed Linkin Park Numb.
Yep.
Easy piano tutorial.
Yeah.
And my brother was helping me out with it. That was literally the first thing I learned on piano.
What year is this?
Put it like later on the edit.
Yeah.
This was.
I like how you think like an editor. That's when you know. He's already thinking how this thing is gonna look.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I've done this before, so yeah. Which year? Like 2000. I don't know, 2009, 10. Yeah, 2009, 10. Very long time ago. And then just from there, played with my brother. My brother started the band, and I joined his band and everything. We used to play like in small gigs, very, very small gigs and stuff. And then we had our own studio where we do
Was it
rehearsals and all
weird?
of
You guys were
that.
doing Western music primarily. Was it? And you said
So
also local
yeah,
Algerian.
so this is the thing with music. We listened to a lot of Western music, but if you want to like perform for people and everything, people don't listen to that.
Yeah.
So we had to
Speak their
like
language and
speak the language and do the so like in between, not the very, very like, I don't know, Rai music and like very traditional music, Maloof and all of that. I love it. It's history, but it's not me. So what we did is Gnawa, like modern Algerian music, yeah, which is very, very beautiful. It sounds like the arrangements sound a lot like Occidental music,
Yep.
world music, but it's Arabic words. So we played a lot of that. Reclaim, Babylon, Gnawa Diffusion. I think
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know these
of course.
bands from Constantine.
Yeah.
Then from there, we started performing in some gigs, in some big like scenes, all of that. We went to Tunisia. We performed there in hotels and everything. It was picking up. It was good. Then it wasn't good enough for me. Like music, I loved it as a person, but as a job or as a business, unfortunately, in my country, in Algeria, it's not a thing. It's not gonna take you anywhere. At that time, now maybe it's a different thing, but at that time it didn't. So I just made the decision to not make it a goal anymore, to keep it for myself. It helps me out a lot. Like here,
De-stress.
yeah, de-stress, everything. It's just like a big part of my personality. But to take it as a job, nah, not anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most important things to touch on is the fact that you chose to go the Western route, both musically and in your spoken, like your language of choice in your videos is English. And I'm sure you must have battled with it a little bit, maybe not a lot. Tell me about why you chose to go that route as opposed to, try to win the smaller wars or battles to do it either, super localized to Algeria or in Arabic.
Well, to be honest, growing up, I always watched and listened to English music, video games. I was a big geek. I was very much into the American culture, so that's what got me into speaking English and everything. And then when it comes to videos, making the videos, I think better in English. So in my head, the voices in my head that speak, like having a conversation inside, they're speaking in English. So it makes more sense for me to be comfortable in my own videos. Yeah. So that's number one thing. Number two, I don't want to just target like one specific audience, which is like Arabs or Algerians, or I want anybody who watches my video to be able to understand what's going on and to appreciate it.
It's more global.
Yeah. So I'm aiming for a more global audience, which is also including Arabs and Algerians.
Yep.
So that's mainly why.
Gotcha. Have you struggled with it? Do you feel like at some point, let's say there's a mountaintop that you conquer at some point, is there any part of you that feels like maybe when I've done that, then I can explore or think about doing that? Or is it not in your, at least for now, is it not on the radar for you?
The only way, like the only time I would start considering like deriving to making Arabic content is if I decide to make content creation my main occupation.
Got it.
So that I will have much more time for it, and then I will definitely have to make it bigger and bigger. And the way to make it bigger, I'm an Arab. There's a huge Arab audience that's lacking the type of content that I'm providing.
And that's part of why I'm asking is because not to say that you shouldn't compete at the highest levels. I mean, just because there's a Peter McKinnon, it doesn't mean there can't be a Benz Films that does, I'm not going to say similar, but you can have your own lane and become your own thing on a global scale and impact, hundreds of millions as opposed to a smaller pool of people.
Definitely.
But because there's such a lack, you know what I mean? Like for me, I faced a similar fork in the road where for all intents and purposes, I was in the US, lived there for a long time, was trying to play big boys, with the big leagues. Then I'm like, there's about a million of me, and it's not you've heard the whole small fish in a big pond, a big fish
Yeah.
in a small pond. It's not that. It's not because it's easier. I mean, part of it, my dad he really wanted me to do it here, not necessarily out of bias because he's from here. It was like once you get rolling, it's an easier nut to crack.
Yeah.
Then
True.
it gives you a springboard into bigger things. But I was so focused on that because I'd grown up, in France and living in the US most of my life. So like you, I too was very much focused on that
Western
stuff.
oriented, yeah.
But then I was like, it came when I started to look at it from a need, I mean, I suppose on a human level, we're needed everywhere, right? It's
Yeah.
not like you're not made for that. But then I was like, in terms of sheer need, I could probably have a bigger impact if and it happened late for me, mind you. I didn't think it ever would. And I don't think it's a unique thing to me. I mean, that's why I'm asking. Maybe now you might not think about it, and
Yeah.
to leave yourself open for it in the future.
Definitely, yeah.
I also want to know. Feels like you're flirting with the idea of doing content creation, but you're neither. Like you haven't. You're like
Like
what's
fully
what's
honor.
what's holding you back? I feel like there's a little bit of a tug happening.
What's holding me back from making a full-time thing? Yeah.
First of all, is it something you aspired to do, or I mean, is the reason why you haven't gone full in because it wasn't necessarily on your radar, or is there something holding you back from actually taking that leap?
What's holding me back is my true passion. Like I love making the videos I'm making.
Yeah.
It's something I really have fun doing. But my true passion doesn't lie in this like
The economy
quick,
of
like the algorithms
Yeah.
are choking me, man. Like the Instagram algorithm, TikTok, you have to make a hook, you have to make it
Yeah.
short and quick, you have to film it with the phone, you have to make it vertical. Man, vertical videos like destroyed me. So all of that's not what I love in filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like I like to tell a story,
Mm.
give me a wide, like anamorphic
Yep.
frame,
Yep.
and like I'll start the story slowly, like how you start a movie.
Sure.
That's what I love. I like making short films.
Slower pace.
Yeah, slower pace, cinematic, something
Yeah.
with a meaning, something meaningful.
That's why I was telling you. I feel like YouTube is where YouTube is more fit for that.
Yeah.
Not to say. I mean, the good thing is you're not avoiding it. You're doing all the things you need to be doing, both in terms of short and long form content. But I feel like, what's resonating long form. I feel like YouTube is the perfect platform for you. You know.
But at the same time, it requires a lot of work.
It does. It does. I mean, but look at it, Youcef. I mean, you wouldn't. I don't think you cheated your way into where you are today. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you worked hard, mind you. It may have taken others a considerable amount of time more than you put in, but you put in work. It's not like you're like, okay, let me find a shortcut and you don't strike me as the kind of person that's like, okay, let me find the quickest way from here to there.
There's no quickest way, man. The quickest way is to go down, not to go up.
Yeah. So I don't think you're afraid of failing. You're not afraid of trying things. So I think you have all the ingredients that it takes to do it. But I'm still trying to, peel the layer that's holding you back.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what's holding me back. I'll think of it this way. Do I wanna in 10 years, what's my goal, Do I financially and personally, there's financial goals and there are personal goals. Yeah. Financially, what I aspire to be is filthy rich. And
do you know what that looks like for you? Do you know what filthy rich looks like for you?
Not too rich.
But do you have a number or an approximation of what it would take? Because for some, it might be 1 million. For some, it might be 1 billion. So it's not a... And again, I'm not going to hold you to it. You said it's not one of those, but have you thought about that stuff?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I just want to, that comfortable life.
The reason I say that, Youcef, is if you have a moving target,
yeah,
it makes it a lot harder to aim and to hit. Mind you, everything, if we can't control everything. You can control the part, like if I do my work, if I continue to grow, and then the rest, في توفيق رباني بالأخير.
Of course.
The reason I say that is clarity, man. I mean, you've got the focus, but I feel like the clarity is the part that it feels like a general, and that's not a knock, mind you, because it's not like I knew it when I was early, but I feel like, especially in the era of internet, there are a lot more, you know, internet millionaires than ever before. So
Yeah.
getting you from zero to wherever you think isn't that out of reach. There used to be a time where it's like, what do you mean this YouTuber is making millions or what have you? So now a, a a real thing that many people, when it's a few, you're like, oh, these are like one-offs. They got lucky. They got in at the right time, regardless of whether they're good or not. But now, I mean, it's multiplying. It's literally
True.
there are many blueprints that say you want to get to here. There are many ways to get there, and it's almost a guarantee. Almost,
Yeah.
I mean,
If you take
obviously,
the
yes.
right steps, for sure.
And so the reason I'm saying
sure.
that, maybe call it a thought exercise. It's okay to say 5 million, and then you get there, you're like, no, 10.
Then
It's not
it's
like
better. Yeah.
or 20 or 30 or whatever. But I'm saying at least having something to say, and it's not like within a year I'd like to get there, but like knowing where you're headed makes the job a lot easier and more attainable. You
Sure.
can touch it, you can feel it. It's similar to that prayer where you're like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not,
It hits you in the
not
face, but yeah.
manifesting, regardless of whether you believe in that stuff or not, but having a North Star of some sort. Like, this is kind of the direction. If it's left to like, I want to be comfortable, you could be comfortable with 10,000 dirhams. You could be comfortable with 1 million dirhams. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's just a moving, and not to preach, but
For sure.
you know,
For sure. What I think of what I think about it is, you see that North Star. Uh, a lot of people come onto podcasts. It's something. This is actually something I love podcasts, but this is something I hate about podcasts, is that people come here and act like they know everything. They know what they're doing. They know what's happening, and they know where they're going. And they're like, "Let me show you how to make $1 million." And man, it's okay to be true. I'm 25 years old. I've done a lot of in my life, but at this point, I cannot see the North Star. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, man.
that's perfectly
Yeah.
okay. But and again, not that you should have it. I think it's liberating, honestly. Some people, I mean, I consider myself lucky that I didn't have to struggle to find what it is that I like. And it sounds like you had a similar experience, even though you tried a couple things and you were, you
Yeah.
know, above average, let's just say, at
Got
whatever
lucky with it, but yeah.
at whatever you took on. I'm seeing that a lot of people struggle with, never mind the North Star. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm good at. How do I find out what to do? How do I find out
Yeah.
before they even start to think about where that
Exactly.
North Star takes them? So in
Yeah.
your case, I'm not worried per se. Like, I think you'll land on your feet no matter where you are, globally speaking. So I think that's freeing to look at it this way. Um, so I like the flexibility that you've given yourself in saying,
Yeah.
I'm kind of going with the flow, because I could plan it till the cows come home. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's going to happen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why. But I also like to get your thought process. Is there a reason? Do you feel pressure? I mean, because maybe part of it, to your point, whether it's a podcast thing or not, people telling you what you should do and how to get rich, $10,000 a month in 3 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
trying to sell you stuff. It's definitely been oversaturated with that type of messaging. Do you feel like for you it's a reaction to that and saying that's not a rat race I want to be a part of, and I'm okay not? Is
Yeah.
that why? Because it seems like unless you think it in those terms, you're not plugged into the matrix or to the system.
So this is it. Like, we've been overwhelmed, oversaturated with this like motivation. It's good. I love motivational videos. People telling you how to make money. You gotta rush it now. You gotta go and work and do everything now. Like, since you're young.
Mhm.
But man, like, I'm not in a race with everybody else, and I gotta be the first millionaire or something like that. Like, at this point in my life, it's okay to take a step back. Take a step back and have fun, travel, meet people, discover who you are truly. Just like, apart from work. Take care of this side as well, because all I've been doing for the past 5 years is literally just work, work all day, every day, trying to make it, trying to. That's a good thing. I'm very happy I spent those 5 years doing that.
So since you say make it, I don't want to cut you off, but
Yeah.
what has making it looked like for you, and how is it changing? Because it's clear that that's been whether it's external or internal, there is the pressure to quote unquote make it. Do you know what that is for you now? Like, what are you going for? Because again, so
Yeah.
focus and clarity and the definition is important so that we
Alright.
can.
Let me, this is how I see it, yeah? In my life, making it is steps. First step, you're at step 0, yeah? You
Yep.
just gotta make it to uni and be a regular, normal, successful person, with your parents and
Sure.
everything. That's making it to step 1. Making it to step 2 is the very hard part, is what you mentioned earlier, figuring out what you want to do with your life, yeah? So I made it to step 2. I know what I want to do with my life. I'm good at it. I can do it. It makes me money. It makes me happy. Great.
And you're still open to
Boom.
that might not be the ultimate, or it might change.
It might not be the ultimate, but for the moment, it is the ultimate.
Yeah, gotcha.
Maybe in 10 years, it's going to change. 5 years, it might change.
Yeah.
So that's step 2. Step 3 is grabbing that thing you loved and and making your personal dreams, not the biggest dreams, but your personal, getting a car, getting a house, making your parents comfortable.
So let's say material comforts, freedoms, and
being
things
comfortable,
like that.
Yeah. Being over average financially. That's step 3 for me.
Yep.
Thankfully, I got there. Freedom is there. Everything, I can get everything at once, which is great.
Yep.
Now, the next step is building a legacy out of it.
Yep.
Having your own company, having employees, having a source of income that even if you're not there, you don't have to work to do it. So that's the next step for me.
Gotcha.
I know I gotta get there in the next 2 years, but from there, step 5, I'll figure it out when I'm done with step 4.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I see it.
So you do see yourself, or at least it is in your plan, to venture on your own and build it into a company or to a living, breathing thing.
For sure.
Okay, gotcha.
For sure.
Yep.
That's the plan for the next 2 years.
Yeah. So at least knowing that you have that vision, I just wasn't sure whether you're kind of just going with the flow, which you are for the most part, but you have something that you're aiming toward.
No, that's eventually that's what I'm aiming for.
Yep.
I was very pressured to do it ASAP.
By yourself or externally?
No, by myself. I'm pressuring myself to, okay, I need to do this. I set a timeline for myself, which is good.
Yeah.
You pressure yourself to do more and more. But I don't think it was right. Why do I have to start a company? Because, man, when you start a company,
it's serious pain.
It's done.
Serious.
You don't have a personal life.
Yeah.
I'm like, have I traveled? Have I had fun? Have I explored? No, I haven't.
Have you?
At that time, I haven't.
But do you now feel like you have?
Hell yeah.
Okay, good.
So now my main goal is, of course, keep working, keep developing, keep doing more and more. But main focus is on me.
Gotcha.
Do what I want to do, create videos that I want to create. Don't look at the money side of it. Travel, have fun, do all of that.
Yeah.
For the next year, that's me. And then, I would have had enough stories to tell my kids. Then I can start a company and make millions.
Millions.
I hope.
I like it. Well,
why not?
Why not, man? Nothing wrong with it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean,
of course, man.
Freedom is freedom. Let's just put it that way. Was there a piece of advice you needed to hear and didn't get when you were just starting?
Wow. Good question. A piece of advice that I needed hearing, but I never got. Honestly, a piece of advice that I needed was, I talked about this earlier. Before I started videography or filmmaking, I didn't feel really good about myself because I was doing a lot of things, but very averagely. For other people, it might be good, but for me, I was like, I'm not that good at this. I'm not that good at this. I was comparing myself to a lot of other people, and at the same time, I was trying to do too much I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of, no, I was just average. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm just an average person. And I had to figure it out by myself that no, that's not it. You just didn't find the right thing for you. So if I could give this advice to me 10 years ago, as keep looking, keep trying new things. You're not just average. You're definitely amazing, at least at one thing.
Yeah.
So keep going until you find that one thing that you're amazing at. When you find it, it's like, hold on.
And you had no one to kind of point you in that direction? I mean,
not really.
okay, that's important because I mean, I struggled with that a ton myself.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you maybe what the difference is, for better or worse. Remember the guy I showed you off air, the guy I told you I worked with?
Okay, yeah.
He's arguably
Big guy.
one of the best mix engineers in the world. And I've said this, many times. He helped me a ton to anchor, because for me, I look at my weakest point and my strength. They intersected in exactly what you said. I felt like I was decent at many things, but I wasn't the best or an expert at any one thing. And that killed me. It killed me, man.
Yeah.
So I was working with Dave and he was saying, you could literally be the best anything. You just got to choose. And, a lot of back and forth. I saw his point. I agree with that line of thinking. Mind you, by sheer, how everything ebbs and flows. I mean, what's old is new again. It just comes back with a facelift,
Yeah.
So things are very cyclical, across history. And this was probably at the peak of you need to be a specialized, as in there are probably families or people who all they do is like they do knobs for that's all they do.
Yeah.
Grandpa has been doing knobs. My dad, I'm a knob
like a
person,
whole
right?
lineage of,
You know what I mean? And then, mind you also have to kind of go with the flow with the way things are transforming. It got to a point where, like, unless you were one of the top 5 knob makers, you were out of a job. And you can apply that across photography. Like, if you're not, like, the top 5 photographers don't have to worry about working. Suddenly, because we talked about the advent of smartphones and everything can do it. Or, sorry, everybody can do it.
Now everybody's a photographer.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's
Like,
a
so
filmmaker.
everybody could literally be anything they want. Says nothing about whether they're good or not. So I was struggling with that maybe in like most from like 2004 till about 2013. Like
Okay.
that really like hit me hard. I was still doing my thing, but doing many things at one time. Until I moved to Dubai for the first time in 2013. I had a conversation with Dave and he's like, I think I may have steered you in the wrong direction. Mind you, this is your idol telling you.
Okay.
I mean, it's not about being right or wrong, but it's someone whose word
like it weights.
it weights a ton. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I was thinking about you. And I realized, because, he's also a photographer, but it's a hobby for him. And he's like, I realized if you play me 50 songs, I can pick out a Zandakari song. If you show me 50 images, I can pick out a Zandakari image. And it dawned on me that the source of your creativity is the same. It's just trying to express itself using different mediums. So forget everything I told you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that, I felt like the weight of, the world was lifted off my shoulders.
So would that be the advice that?
For me, that's what I'm saying. It worked.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. So instead of like being the best musician or singer, the best photographer or the best designer or the best what have you, I was beyond the average at these things. I'd been doing them for a long time. So I'm now competing at an expert level.
Yeah.
So what I lead with now, there's something called polymath. A polymath is someone with a multiple interests or an expertise in multiple areas. Mind you, in my case, it's creativity.
Okay.
But it is diverse. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, this is what I lead with. So now, before I'm like, okay, I could tell him I'm a photographer. I can tell him I'm a musician. If I tell him one or the other, it's going to confuse the hell out of him.
Yeah. If you tell them you're both,
you must suck at both. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I don't necessarily do that, but I don't worry about having to do it because I could back up both. And I don't care. Bring me the best in both fields. I can hang with them. If not, and not that it's not a competition. It's just like, again, so whether you're seeking external validation or internal validation, once it became internal for me, like I never cared anymore. which gave me the peace and the serenity that I basically have been seeking. So my thing now is I lead with that. I'm a polymath that gels with my upbringing. I lived across multiple cultures, languages, etc. So it fits in my
Experience
case.
it's,
And
yeah.
mind you, I think what you did is good. For you, it was clearer in that, and for me, it could have been, but there was just something tugging. You know, like
Yeah.
when I got into photography, I forgot about everything else. So it's not like it was still in my, but it's like,
This or that.
yeah,
It's
you know
like
what I
a
mean? Like,
fight.
you know how the eye focuses? The ear does the same thing. Your nose does the same thing. Your tastes, when you start to think in those terms, you're able to pull from. So like I was saying, you got good at videography. Maybe you don't realize to what extent, but guaranteed all the effort and all the good that you got at making music, without that, you wouldn't be half the videographer you are today. You know what I'm saying? So
That made you who you are right now.
I'm saying, so
Of
now I
course.
can pull instead of like having to hide behind one or the other. You're like, no, these are my cards.
This is me.
And for me, it works. I know, again, it's a struggle for a lot of people, especially in the age of like, I could literally do anything I want. There wasn't, when I started YouTube, like I got into photography before YouTube started. So just try to imagine resources. Of course, there were
Very hard,
photographers
yeah.
and websites and stuff, but access and like tutorials and
Much harder at that time.
music, you have to go back another 10 years before there was internet. You know what I'm saying? Like making it, you know, releasing all that stuff. So necessity really, you know, but it worked in my favor. So I don't feel like I have to hide behind that. Where it once used to be a weakness for me, it's a strength, and I lead with it. And ever since I've done that, more doors have opened for me than when I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. So it all kind of happened. And one of the other big things that I learned from Dave is not to push. You do your part. And so the less you ask, I mean, you do have to go after things, but you get to a point where you're like, you just have to be. And things, you know, if you're aware of those things, it's just like,
they fall under all of it. Yeah.
so I'm lucky in that sense, but I feel like there's a luck component to it, but there's also I've done my part. I feel like even though there are times where I felt like, oh, I could have done more, or I didn't do enough. But clearly, I don't think I would have gotten to where I am, whatever that is, had I not put in that effort.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's funny to hear it from your perspective, because there's, you know, generationally, we're not of the same, you know, age group, but those struggles are similar, but they take on different
human struggles, man.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's
Just
a
taking
real
different
thing.
forms. Yeah.
And that's why, like, I try as much as possible not to preach and say, do this, because that's what gets you there. Man, anyone that tells you, I know, I've done it, trust me, you know, it's so elastic, you know?
Even if this is what, when it comes to life lessons and like, even if you tell me this, okay, like today you told me something that's supposed to change my life. If I'm not ready to take it in, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. So the advice I just told myself, you know, like if I like don't tell it to someone at the right time, whoever is listening, maybe this advice wouldn't resonate with you today, but next year it would. So you just need to be ready first to take in advice.
That's a very good point.
Then.
Very good point. Because
Yeah.
the thing you said, the advice you said you had never gotten, there's a good chance that someone may have told you to do that, and you just weren't
slipped in. Yeah.
You weren't
I was
ready
playing Call of Duty or something. Who knows? Yeah. So it's just about timing. Timing's, you know what it is. But
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's important. And again, so for me, this conversation is more for those that may stumble onto this podcast and, you know, be interested or feel like they can relate to some of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
That to me means so much more than how well it does, how many views it gets, you know, because I feel like when you're talking at that level, again, people are just lost. And I feel bad because, again, for me, I didn't have to struggle a ton. There was struggle within my knowing what I wanted to do. And I think same.
That's part of the journey.
For sure. But maybe validating how you feel. Maybe like someone listens to this and says, look, I can relate to this. Oh, but no, that's not really me. Do you know what I mean? But like it gives them some sort of a map,
Clarity.
You know, so that's
really. I feel like that's what we're aiming to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, if that's what it does, I feel like satisfied. And plus, for me, I don't judge it by how well it does. This is like getting to know you. I already know you a little bit, but I've gotten to know more
Pleasure.
about your story. Are you a perfectionist? Have you had to worry about things need to, because that's any creative.
Yeah.
How have you addressed that?
Oh, I'm still a perfectionist. I have not addressed that.
Are you addressing it? Are you aware that it's holding you back? Do you feel like you're not doing it?
I'm starting to tolerate more.
Yeah.
But I still want to keep the same. So in the videos I make, I only post a video that I'm proud of. If I'm not proud of this video personally, just between me and myself,
yeah, sure.
If you give me a video and I know this video is not going to perform, doesn't have a strong hook, doesn't have a this, that, but like I like it, I love it,
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. That's perfection for me.
Yeah.
I like it personally. If you give me something like that's not, in my eyes, that's not good enough, that shouldn't be there on my profile.
Yeah.
Someone told me, it's a scary quote, social media quote, whatever. You are as good as your last video. And that just like scares the hell out of me. If I have a client going into my Instagram profile.
But you realize that is a choice too, though, right?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
The same was said about you're only as good as your last hit as a singer or whatever.
Yeah.
Linkin Park. Give me another group or band that you were really fond of other than Linkin Park.
Coldplay.
Does Coldplay need to release a Living La Vida or Clocks or Fix You every single time for them to still be good and for you to still feel the same way? I mean, you aim for that, but I feel like that kind of pressure, I feel like can do more damage than good. I mean, again, so carrot and the stick. I think your carrot, which, you need the stick, you need both, right? So to say you just need the carrot and not the stick. In your case, you started with your barometer being, if I'm happy with it. Because that same video, regardless of how it does, or whether it's got the hook or the format that it's supposed to fit in, if it meets your criteria of I like it, when you release it, you liked it. But if you look back a year later and you're like, oh, this is still the best thing ever, then I would worry, right? So to me, that's you're as good as your last hit. You know what I mean? It's not like, because the pressure, man, unless you're God, regardless of what your belief system is.
Which we are not.
But I'm saying, unless you are that, or you have a Kanye complex where you're like, you think everything you touch is gold. That is a recipe for failure, man. You just have to, I'm saying, tread very carefully because.
No, you're right, of course.
And I say this as someone who struggled a ton with being a perfectionist. And my dad, so if I say, what is the advice I needed to hear that I never got? I got the advice. I just was never ready for it, which is perfectionism doesn't exist. And like and I think when we first met, I kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
What he said is, if you start out perfect, where do you go from there?
True.
So having the room to know, like, if there's no more growth,
to grow,
anything that doesn't grow is dead. If it's not dead on the spot, it's certainly headed towards that. So just take it as like, if there's more I can do, it's a good sign. It means I'm going up.
I'm doing more.
The second, so people say, oh, you're only as good as your last video. It's easy to think like, oh, is my best behind me? It doesn't have to be.
No.
The idea is to not stop, right? So again, whether you're playing the infinite game or doing it for the long run, slow burn, etc., we can throw a bunch of like
terms, podcast terms,
and like buzzwords, infinite games and
catchy, and
pow, whatever,
Let's go.
But that liberated me. It came a bit later than maybe I would have liked, but maybe I wasn't ready. So that's just, again, while I know that hits you really hard, I'm just trying to, again, as someone that maybe has gone through it a bit, be careful what you let, my dad is really good at this. If you say,
that's like a great guy.
He said, like we take like, when in Rome, do as Romans, or like any quotes that you take as like biblical, or like, unless it's like let's not get into the holy books or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you take things that like everything happens for a reason, that's a choice that do we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything happens for a reason? It may or may not, right?
May or may not.
I myself used to take it like everything happens for a reason, and I assign the
It's
reason.
like a motto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you assign. So question these things. So if someone says you're only as good as your last video or as your last hit, it's easy to adopt that, and suddenly you're confounded by it. You know, it's like it becomes it could be a jail cell or it could be a freeing thing depending on what you do with it. And so it's a long rant in trying to say that be careful with what you let dictate the next portion of, because for me, I think of it as a cloud. So picture a cloud, right?
Yeah.
Thunders, or it's a cloud. It's not the sun. I think of the sun as like your direct source to the creator or inspiration, or whatever. And then there's a cloud. It could be super dark. It could be rainy. It could be not. So it's a cloud. You're only as good as your last hit. And then you go with it. It goes with you everywhere. And then you realize it's not there and it goes away. So just be careful with the clouds. Think of it as a balloon, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to say, I see you're there. Go, stay, whatever. But I'm not going to hold on to you because I may be doing myself a disservice. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry, back to...
I appreciate that, man.
Back to you, Bob. So you were saying that it hit you hard. You said that was a quote that hit you hard, but there was a point I think you were trying to make, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but...
So how it influenced me, perfectionism, being a big perfectionist, I see it also as a good thing because I always push myself to do better. I'm not like happy with making the same kind of videos I've been making 3-4 months ago. Yeah. So I don't see it as in I have to do amazing and amazing and amazing. No, I have to do good and then better and then better and better. Yeah. And that, like the standard of what's good and what's better is what I like, because I'm in this field. Yeah. I know what's a good effect. I know what's a good edit. I know what's a good idea. I know what's creative. Like I've been doing this for quite long. So for me and people who are into this field, people who are creatives, like I would come to you, Dan, Zan, who's Dan? I'd come to you and show you this video.
Evil stepbrother, yeah.
Let's go. So I would come to you and show you this video, tell you, what do you think? I came to you this morning, right? Hey, what do you think of this video? Okay, I took your opinion and I'm actually, gonna take that into consideration and do it. So for me, what's perfect is something that I validate and that people who know the value of what I'm doing and who understand it validate. Like if I validate it, you validate it. This guy who I respect and I care about their opinion validates it. This circle, then it's perfect for me. That's it. That's good. If I don't like it, or maybe you have like, you clear something out for me and then I start to see it. Yeah. I'm not going to post it. I have so many unposted videos.
Well, so here's the thing about that, because I happen to agree with you and feel the same way about a lot of what you said. But some of my idols, whether it's music or any other field, we want to feel like it's the intuition that got us there. We had a feeling that got us there. And that, I feel like that certainly has a place. But for instance, let's go to songwriting, for instance. There are songs that some of our favorite singers have to sing because they are the crowd favorites and they are not to the artist. Yeah. It may have been like, I wrote this like
kind of forced to do.
Not forced. I mean, sometimes it can be forced, but sometimes it's like, it wasn't the divine inspiration that, I wasn't going through a breakup. I wasn't super happy.
It was commercial.
So whether it does well or not, sometimes there have been enough cases where songs that we now know and love that have become classics were written from a lack of, I thought it was perfect, or, like the people that wrote it didn't particularly care for it. Yet it changed millions of people. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, for instance, you show me something, I might say like, Youcef, this is amazing. And you're like, no, but I don't love it. Yeah. And it's not because I said, it has nothing to do with I said, but you're not always, I mean, again, if you're doing it to please yourself, it's one thing. But if you're in the, I want to share this with people, whether for feedback or just to get better, I think there's a point where it belongs to those that receive it. Sure. And then regardless, whether you want to measure it by shares, saves, views, or whatever, you'd be surprised how many of those things that you didn't deem quote unquote perfect or good enough for you
could actually make it.
I mean, it could be a Matrix movie. It could be, name some of your favorite movies. Yeah. Any of those movies could be from something that someone didn't think was perfect. and because of either external people saying this is great.
Yeah.
So I think trust is a big part of it. I mean, in your case, because I deploy that kind of strategy when it comes to music or everything that I do. There's definitely a trusted, close,
For sure.
circle
To
of
get
friends.
opinions from you.
It's a validation of some sort. I mean, I think it should start. I mean, if you're in a business of like I do and I just put out, I don't care. It's one thing, because there's something to be said for both.
Still gotta care though.
For sure. But like once I got into I'm in it for the discipline of it, the reps of it, the long term. I don't care where this takes me. For instance, like the English channel that I showed you. When I release every day, I don't have time to think about how did yesterday's or 2 days ago do. And I like that. It's liberating, especially in an era where it's like, are you doing it for the algorithm? Are you hashtagging it enough? Are you describing
and mashallah, you're doing great. Like,
but I'm saying, and again,
your numbers are pretty good.
But it happened over, I mean, almost without trying. And it's not tooting my horn, but like, I felt like in terms of a strategy of what to do, I was like, this, I vibe with in terms of like, I want to have something to do every day. In theory, I should be better getting, if I look back a month ago, I should not think this is amazing. And I do. Luckily, I can say check. I look back a week, I was like, what the hell was that?
Why?
But it performs, it does or whatever. So I'm saying the daily liberates me from how a particular one, whether it's, you know what I mean? So there's a discipline to be said. And I think it loops back to saying that having a circle of friends, having a gut feeling. So you're validating your feelings and your expertise with numbers. And then you let the people have chosen, the people have spoken,
True.
So
now linking it to numbers is a toxic trait, let's say.
I think
that's an addiction.
And mind you, I'm hearing a lot of experts in the field saying that there is fatigue in general, like, with like the fast edits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Vlogging is making a comeback of sorts. You know what I mean? Where like there was a time where you had the Casey Neistats or whatever. It was a massive category, and then it kind of fell out of favor. So everything just does that, right? So there's a good chance vlogging comes back, but it won't look like it looked in 2013 or whatever.
Vlogging,
You know what I'm saying? So if anyone can tell you I can time it perfectly, they found a crystal ball. I don't think that exists. I think the one common thing is that you take what your love for it with you. But man, I think you're on the right path. I feel like you're being rewarded at the right pace, and your attitude, I think, is probably what's gotten you there. Like I said, I'm not worried about you. I think you're gonna just continue to crush.
I appreciate it.
And it doesn't matter whether it's for others, and that's the most liberating feeling, like peace.
I appreciate it.
I love what I do.
Just like knowing you're on the right path.
For sure, man.
That's that's like a blessing, honestly. That's something you worked hard for, but at the same time you got lucky with. So alhamdulillah, we're like very grateful for that. Yeah. But no. Thank you so much, man.
And it shows, man. This has been great. Before we wrap, to a potential 12 to 15-year-old Yassine, Youcef, Ahmed, whoever, Halima, that's at a loss. Do you have any words that you feel did you some good that maybe you could pass on?
I'd give it out to someone who's 20, 21, 19, 20, 21. That's where it gets stressful for you, yeah? That's where the stress kicks in and you start like, your family pushes you and everybody starts to push you like, okay, tell us what you're going to do with your life. Yeah. Then you're going to ask yourself.
You're expected to announce.
Yes, you're expected, this is going to be me, Yeah. When you play a video game, you have to choose which faction you are. Are you heavy or you're light or like that? Yeah. So then that's when you got to make the choice. Before that, you're just like exploring. Nobody's blaming you. And you're kind of pressured to make the right choice. What I would say is don't let that pressure force you into making a comfortable choice or just like settling
the safe.
Don't settle for a simple life or just like something simple because you think you're not good enough. You don't deserve to be like this guy who achieved his dreams at 23 or to be this successful person, or don't look at yourself as someone who's not capable of achieving what everybody else has achieved.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You are as good as anybody else. The difference between someone who's not successful and someone who's successful is that the person who's successful just believed in themselves. So believe in yourself. That's what I would say.
I like it. Ben's Films on all social medias. Is that
All
is that
social
kind of your
media.
thing? We'll put the link in the description. I appreciate your time. We'll do this again when the
Thank
time
you
is
so
right.
much, man.
I appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
man.
Love it.
Cheers.